Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Gemini, is the Queen. And this is number 11. It's a beautiful energy out here. You know, a lot of gemstones, a red garnet is there. There's a moon energy, of course, which comes with the Queen because it's a very reflective energy. There's also a lotus at the bottom of the moon. Now, when it comes to the lotus energy, lotus is all about staying composed and graceful under pressure. That's what the lotus symbolizes. Then there is this hand there wrapped up by the serpent. The red garnet is a fine gemstone, right? And you know, when it comes to finer gemstone, not only are they powerful, and because it's red, you know, red stands for that fire, the passion that is within us. But it's on a surface of a moon. So which means there is gentleness, there is composure, there is kindness, there is softness to that passion and fire. So it's not about being aggressive. It's about staying calm, about staying composed, even under pressure. And the same thing with the hand. The hand, it's the hand of the Queen. That has a serpent wrapped around it. Now, with the serpent energies, not only about protection, but it's also about strategy, right? Strategy in the sense, like, what do you say? When do you say? How do you talk? You know, the diplomacy. It's not about force because it's the Queen energy. It's about leading from gentleness. It's about staying calm. There is no forcefulness out here, but this Queen is equally passionate because there is so much of fire and redness in this card, which means that you definitely, Gemini, are passionate about something. But I feel that you're staying calm, or maybe this energy is encouraging you to stay calm, you know, to not be loudest in the room, to not be loud or aggressive or overthinking or over managing or over talking, I would say, because you know the moon and the Queen is both a reflective energy, a more calmer energy. So you might be under pressure right now, you know, in some situation. Could be at work, could be in your personal life. I feel that what right now is needed is for you to stay cool, calm, collected like a cucumber. And, you know, things will get much easier if you keep your composure. If it's at work, you know, you'll be better able to communicate what you're trying. If you're in leadership positions, people will, you know, appreciate your calmer, compassionate leadership better than any kind of confrontation or better than any kind of micromanagement or blame game and pointing fingers or raising voice or being aggressive. All of those aggressive qualities are not going to work. You might be aggressive on the inside, but on the outside, the Queen energy is asking you to be more diplomatic. Now, when it comes to the Queen energy, Queen also is a very feminine, gentle, you know, caring kind of a vibe as well. So I feel that you probably are also looking after others, whether in your home or as a team. You are caring for others, what they want, what's the problem, trying to work things out without being pushy or without being overbearing. So it's like a manager that people can look up to, that people are comfortable opening with, that they can discuss openly what their problems are, issues are, and also know that you know, that the person that they're talking to is a safe space that will hold space for them. Now, this is also a very reflective energy. So for some of you, you might be reflecting, or you might need to reflect a little bit on what's going on. You know, I mean, in general, in the day-to-day, when we reflect at the end of the day, like how our day went, what could have been better, I feel that reflective energy is going to benefit you. Like at the end of the day, just take a look at what could have been better, or, you know, and things like that. So basically, this energy is very powerful for you, Gemini. You are the mutable air sign, you know. You're flexible, you're chatty, and, you know, you're very communicative. And I feel that here, the Queen energy is actually asking you to be that leader, in your words, have that compassion. And of course, it's a powerful energy. It's not easy to be a queen, right? It takes a lot of discipline, hard work, and all of that. So the queen becomes a queen only when she has mastered a lot, on the inside. Even her inner world is under her control. She doesn't allow the emotions to get the better of her. But at the same time, in the external world, she's also not a brutal force. She's very caring. She's a calm presence. She listens. She nurtures. She takes care. And the red garnet, again, like this is a very precious gemstone. So I feel that, for some of you, it could be interested in crystals, but otherwise, this is also an energy where you're powerful on the inside, but at the same time, you're not letting that power of that independence, that strength, come across as brutal force on the outside. So you actually have a lot of self-control over your emotions or how you express things. And, you're not over-dominating. This is not an energy about dominance at all because the serpent is wrapped around her hand. So she's not really using her hands or power, or she's not over-controlling or controlling it by any means. So it's a great energy, of balancing both the inner passion and also how you present to the world, how you come across to the world. The next card you have, Gemini, is, it says, number 1, karmic relationship. Further, it says releasing the past. Now, if you look at the picture, it shows like two people, kind of, they're split out here by this lightning thunderbolt. And, there's a lot of cables. It feels like a cord cutting out here. It's all cables surrounding them, and these images are actually kind of dissolving into those. So I feel that, there is definitely, when it comes to lightning energy, spiritually or symbolically, it's kind of an energy of change, transformation, right? So there is a divine intervention out here because the lightning is there. And I feel that these two people that were connected, karmic relationship can be any relationship. It can be business relationship, it's business partnership. It could be your teammates. It could be, your social circle. It could be a social network. It could be your online network. It can also be your personal relationships. So this can apply to anything. And I feel it's some specifically for just a few of you. I don't think this is like for a lot of you. It might be specifically for someone, but this energy is about releasing the soul ties, right? So, and when you release that, I feel with the cord-cutting cords shown out here, this is actually freeing you up. So it's an energy of, a good release that leads to more freedom, that leads to more calmness, rather than an emptiness. I don't see an emptiness. I feel that this is more about feeling free, relieved, relaxed after letting go of these karmic ties and soul ties. And it might feel a little bit awkward at this point in time or at that moment, but otherwise, it's not really, anything. It's not a loss for you. I mean, from a higher level perspective, this relationship, whatever you're letting go, is not a loss. The only thing with the Queen energy, you need to be really calm, stay calm, because there might be pressure, there might be some arguments around it. So instead of bursting into flames, it's better that, just release it with, with calmness, like just have that last conversation and close the chapter. Yeah, because it's like a, it definitely is a divine intervention out here because, they say like, the people that we meet are for a reason or for a season and things like that. So I feel that this might be somebody that, is here for a reason, must have, you both have soul ties. So definitely you helped each other grow in some way. Now, I also feel that for some of you, you might be actually, this might not be recent. It might be something that has already happened. So you might be in the process of clearing, if you were living together, you're probably clearing your house, or you kind of clearing out the things that you got from that person. If it's a personal relationship, you might be clearing away things or numbers or pages or books and things that are from that person. For some of you, it's like, clearing space. And like I said again, the big picture energy is of freedom, not of loss. But it might feel like a loss in the moment, but over a period of time, you'll realize that it actually freed you up. Now, for others of you that are, for whom this energy is not about relationships, it could be the environment where you are, and maybe you're leaving jobs or you're leaving some kind of a group initiative. So for some of you, it could be that you do not get along, or you're not liking that initiative anymore, or the group activity anymore, or group anymore, and you're kind of just walking away from it. So let it be cool, calm, collected. Don't yank connections right now, and just, coolly let them go, like with the conversation, let them go in a gentle way. So it's a lot of clearing away energy, whether it's clearing your items at home or clearing your digital space, clearing your mental space, removing things from, maybe it could also be removing things or, events from your calendar that actually were no value for some of you. It could be as mundane as that as well. But whatever this thing that you're cutting off is actually, it's freeing your space up, it's freeing your time up. And over a period of time, you will realize that, you're feeling more lighter. And another, advice in regards to when it comes to releasing things, don't be impulsive to take next steps to fill that space back up like really fast. Don't do things that will just, fill up that time that you have freed up from these karmic relationships or from these activities. And the last card you have, Gemini, is that of a conflict. It says conflict is escalating and resolutions seem out of reach. Avoid emotional reactions and seek peaceful resolutions. That's exactly what we were talking about all along. The Queen energy is again asking you to be very well composed. Sorry about that noise. So yeah, this is a Queen energy update where you need to not burst into flames. Don't let the tempers get the better of you. Try to talk things out, peacefully. Also with the releasing energy. So I do feel that, either you're letting go of situations, people, because of these tensions. But if the releasing is not the part, I feel that you might be in karmic situations that actually triggers you up, time and time again. So if that's your thing, at least at this moment for this kind of a situation, the conflict that is escalating, make sure that, that we need to be in control of our emotions. Nobody else can be. So once you take charge of your inner world and react diplomatically and use the diplomatic words and calmness, things will, diffuse, tensions will diffuse way faster than otherwise. So your advice is to, keep the calm as far and as much as you can. Remove yourself from situations, because I feel that this might be a karmic time. It could be like, the universe is testing you. Sometimes the universe tests our patience and, and things like that. And especially people that are around us sometimes will, throw those curveballs at us in order to test our patience too. So if this is one of those situations, then just keep calm and, remove yourself from those situations. So Gemini, those were your messages, and hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Libra. So the first card you have, Libra, for today is the Sustainer. Now, if you look at the picture, a lot of violet purple energy, which is the higher chakras. And then you have like these two hands that are just holding some kind of a ball or a stone. I would say it's a ball, maybe. It looks like a stone, though, but yeah, it looks like a stone, actually. So these two hands are holding a stone, and it's not easy, right? It takes that effort to hold a stone like that. And when it comes to Libra, your 7th house energy, it's all about balance. And I feel that these two hands are giving you the balance, right? So that the pressure is equally distributed. Now, spiritually, Libra, you are the social people of the zodiac, right? You keep things going, you keep things balanced, you keep relations balanced, and all of that. And I feel that, you're ruled by Venus. Libras are very kind of peacemakers, right? They just want to have a peaceful time, good time. They kind of diffuse tensions, at most times. So they genuinely care for people. And I feel it's that care, which is actually underrated, I feel. Libra care is underrated. And actually, if you see it in today's times, it's the real, it's the, what do you call, the real strength or the real force that actually people need, the care, the gesture, the love, the occasional help, that human-to-human connection, doing things without, I would say, without making other people feel that you obliged them, or you did something big, or it's a favor and things like that, without that energy. So it's that steadiness, it's that care that Librans dole out to people, which is so precious, and I feel that this energy speaks to you, that where you're able to hold things, without letting it drop. The hold this stone without letting it drop, without it breaking. So yeah, I feel it's just about the care, the love, the sustainer. You keep things going here, Libra. Whether it's in your relationships or work, you're always like, we can all do this, we can all work together. And I feel that, you do things on the side. You do things quietly for people, and you don't even, say it out loud, or you don't even want any credit for it. You don't want any recognition for it. You're just there, you want to be able to support people in whichever big, small ways, wherever you can, But here, the thing is that support people, but without losing yourself, right? Without that, love becoming overburdening for you. That's the underlying current of this. So I feel that you might be, doing things for people, like, if a friend of yours needs help, you're like happy to help. Maybe you'll do things here and there for other people, maybe even for strangers. You are keep people like, happy, like you don't want any tension. So if people are arguing, you're like, okay, let me just try work this out, listen to all perspectives and see if we can find a middle ground. If somebody needs help at home, you're like happy to give, happy to help out with the home stuff. Or if it's professional, you're happy to help out without burdening yourself. So do small gestures, just saying, just checking up on people, or sending a text, or, if somebody needs, help or some kind of advice, you're happy to help them out. You're happy to lend them a ear to understand what's going on and things like that. So it's gentle, day-to-day help, support, love, and care that Libra, you're already e-proat, you're not a stranger to that. And I feel this energy is absolutely very much right for you. So it's steadiness, holding it together, giving it to family, holding precious things so that they don't break, so that they don't fall. Whatever you can do to save things, do not let it fall and break. You're happy to help. The next card you have, Libra, is number 9, and it says open your heart, but then below it says set loving boundaries. So it's just an extension of the sustainer energy, and this is true for all, sustainer is somebody who gives, right? But this energy is asking you to put a limit on it, to put a boundary, strong boundaries. Like for example, if it's related to a family, yeah, you're willing to give, you're willing to help around, but then you have a limit, you have a time limit, or I'm going to do this, I will do it today, and I will do the rest tomorrow. Those kind of boundaries, right? So that you're not depleted, your energy is not drained out. So that's what this is. Like, yeah, be open, do things. Like if you are meeting new people, welcome them with open hearts, but at the same time, set a time limit that, yeah, we're going to be here, we're going to hang out for about an hour or two, and then we'll, regroup again or meet again in a few weeks or something like that, so that there is a limit, there is a limitation, there's a little bit of a boundary out there which is clearly visible to people, so that they don't take advantage, they don't overstep your boundaries. And at the same time, your energy needs to be saved up, conserved for your own personal care, for your own personal day and tasks. So this goes for every area, right? Whether it's at your work, if somebody is asking for your help, you're like, yeah, sure, I can help, but I have only 5 minutes, or I can only help with this task, and the rest maybe when I'm done with my work and things like that. So be open-hearted, be generous, but then you need to have a cap L limit. And the same goes for your personal lives as well, whether it's your relatives or, at your home. Draw the boundary, like, yeah, I need time for myself. I'm going to be here. I'm going to help out with this. And then I need to go here, do my own thing. If it's in relation to your business, then, you kind of set boundaries. Like, okay, at this time, I will be covering this business. And at this time, you will be covering and things like that. So write it down. Have those boundaries, well-defined tasks, limitations, and caps on things so that your energy, your time, your resources are not depleted. So opening your heart and keeping the peace or being available doesn't mean you drain your resources and your time and energy. So just about having those healthy boundaries. And the last card for today, Libra, you have is the intimate relationships, but it's in the reverse for you. In the reverse, it says issues with intimate relationships are causing confusion or disappointment. Emotional distance or unspoken needs may be present. Yeah, you had the sustainer, right? So you're able to, you're giving, the sustainer is somebody who gives, who keeps the peace, who makes themselves available. And the next card you had was to have those boundaries, limitations on how much you're available, how much you can give, so that you're not depleted. Over here, there could be some relationship that I feel intimate relationships are the ones that are in your inner circle, the closer ones, whether it's at work or profession or a personal relationships, could be causing some kind of disappointment because not everybody has a capacity to give back. And for Libra, you're like, you don't expect anything in return. But, once in a while, that appreciation does make a difference. And, then it's not give and take. I'm not saying it has to be 100%, 50% this and 50% that, but more or less. If the give and take is absent, it's only one way. Somebody's just taking and not even appreciating or not giving back in any way, then it becomes a drain on your time and energy. So maybe there could be some things like that in your life, that could be causing disappointments or confusions. And because of that, sometimes, of course, when you open our hearts and you don't get what we expect, it creates an emotional whirlwind and causes some kind of emotional distance. So for some of you, you could be feeling emotionally distant from your close ones. I feel that if you open your heart and see what needs to be said or whatever you want from that situation, I feel that will help ease the tension. So, yeah, boundary setting needs to be there, definitely. They need to people around you, your near and dear ones, also should not be taking advantage of you, right? I mean, and at the same time, they matter to you because they're your close relationship, so you care for them. But again, if you're just going to stay silent all the time and not express like what you want, what's bothering you, what's hurting you, then that adds on to the pressure and tension. So speak it out loud. Whatever you want from your near and dear ones, just say it out loud. Not everybody has a capacity to read your heart and mind or even reciprocate. Some people are unable to reciprocate. So if you feel something along those lines are bothering you, then you need to be able to have the courage to speak up. So Libra, those were your messages and hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Aquarius. So the first card you have, Aquarius, for today is the heart. And this is number 31. So 3, 1, and 4 are coming through strong with this energy. This looks like a little bit of a nest. And then there is a heart inside, and then there is 2 people that are sitting on the boat rowing away. A very beautiful, I feel, it's a very softer energy. And then there is this nest. Nest F4 stands for, care, protection, that safe place where, especially for birds, they leave their eggs. It's a warmer environment, it's a good environment in which the eggs, they grow, they feel safe, they're protected from the external world. So I feel a similar energy for you. Aquarius, you're the 11th house, and you are the fixed air sign. And this energy is a little bit more softer. So for some of you, you could have some water placements, heavy water placements in your chart, but it doesn't have to be, because 11th house archetypal energy is more about independence. But here, within a nest, there is 2 people on a boat. So independence is not so much visible because the boat is a small space. And then on top of that, they're in a river, so it sounds like they can jump off the boat and just walk away. And on top of that, they're surrounded by this nest. So there definitely is like a lot of privacy. There's a lot of protection around this, whether it could be for the people, maybe it's a family that you're protecting, maybe it's a house, it could be a teen. For the most part, I feel it's a personal energy, in your personal life. This could be about people, your family, your kids, your partnerships. It could be that you are, forming new partnerships and you choose to keep it private. You choose to keep them, because once we get to vocal, we announce kind of, it changes the essence of that relationship. So I feel that you want to keep it under wraps. You want to keep it private. You want to keep it safe, protected, and all of that. And within that, your relationships, or it could also be projects. It could be some personal gigs that you're starting, something that is really dear to you. So it could be that as well. But I feel that this is like 2 people, could be more, who want to be together. They don't want to be out and about. So it's like you want to be together. Maybe for some of you, it could be like areas around water bodies. Some of you could be actually rowing boats. But just cozy environments, versus loud parties. So you want to stay in and dine and have a candlelight dinner, versus going out there with the group and meeting people. This is also like keeping things under wrap, not being really open public or announcing things. So for some of you, this can also be about protecting your home, by creating those big walls or boundaries or camera systems and things like that, so that you feel safe, you create that safe environment. For others of you, this is just like creating a safe space. It could be for your team, where people are able to come and talk to you, express themselves, express their opinions, express their views, their problems, and all of that. They're able to share. And it's a safe space, that you're going to be holding space for them and, not talking about them and not sharing information about them. So that kind of a privacy as well. For some of you, could be working in environments where privacy is a thing. Like, they really value people's privacy and they don't want to share information. For some of you, it could be the ambience as well around you. But otherwise, this is like, an energy where you want to be together. You don't want to be running away. You don't want to be just all by yourself. You want to connect. You want to stay together in that space. And that safe space, and also create that safe space for people that are around you. In your family, could be for your kids and all of that. So it's a good balance of being together, and as well, there is some distance between these 2 people. So that's your independence. Like, if you're in the same house, we can, have our own me times. We can do our own things, but at the same time, we come together over meals, watch movies together and things like that. So closeness plus independence, both managed, in a very gentle and a very safe and protected space. The next card you have, Aquarius, for today is mission accomplished, 1111. Further, it says welcome home. So definitely it's a homecoming energy. This duck is wearing a crown, and the crown is an energy of recognition, of accomplishing things, For some of you, definitely this is a homecoming energy. It's like welcome back home. So either you are back home, you might have relocated for work or and things like that, and now you're going back to where you belonged, your hometown, and it's like, yeah, full circle completed. I was out there, I was working, I did my thing, and I'm back. For others of you, this can also be about, something that you've been working at for a long time and you finally completed. It could be a relocation. Relocation takes a lot of time, packing, moving, unpacking, and all of that. And once you settle down, you're like, finally, I feel like I'm back home. So for some of you, it could be that. For others of you, this could also be completion. It's like, I would say this is also an energy of completion. Like, maybe that you were in school or, trying to complete a certificate or something like that, or course or education, and you're like, oh my God, it's gone on for so long. I don't think I'll ever be able to complete this. And before you realize you're done, you've completed it, you've passed, you got good grades, whatever that is, and you have the certificate in your hand. You're like, oh, I never imagined I could do this, and I'm finally there. So finally, over there is also the energy. Finally made it, finally completed it, finally back home. For some of you, this could be, like maybe you're feeling out of place or awkward in certain situations, but now you're adjusting to it. Now everybody's familiar and you feel like you have arrived home. It's like when you move to newer neighborhoods or new cities or new countries, it takes time for us to familiarize ourselves. It takes about a few months, sometimes 2-3 years or longer, depending on everybody's personality. And then once we've settled in, we're like, finally, we're home. It feels like home now. So for some of you, it could be that as well. For some of you, it actually could be buying a home and settling in, in the place that you've been confused about or just long time thinking about, overthinking, should I buy here, there, what kind of a house? It's not a small effort. It's a huge effort to decide the house, the neighborhood, the city, finally. And then once everything's put together, you're like, finally, everything's done. Now I feel like I can sit back, relax, and enjoy this place. So it's an energy of settling in. It's an energy of coming back. Could be to the roots, could be to the place you belong, or it could be now, wherever you are, you feel like that place is home. You start feel belonging in that place. So for some of you, it could be that as well. And the last card you have, Aquarius, is the energy of creativity, but it's in the reverse for you. Further, it says creative blockages are holding you back and you may struggle to find inspiration or motivation in your work. So, yeah, if you look at the picture, there's a person which is sitting on the desk, 2 computers, one is on, one is off. It's a pile of papers that's lying beneath the chair. So when it comes to creative blockages, I feel that for some of you that are in the creative industry, I feel that maybe, there's a lot of papers on the floor. So you do have ideas, but I feel that nothing really sparks that interest in you. So it's not that you don't have an idea. You do have. Maybe you have too many. Either you're confused which one to go with, or none of them are appealing. There are ideas, but none of them are so strongly appealing to you. And it's okay because, you had the heart energy, which means that you've created a safe space. Then you had the mission accomplished, which means that whatever work you wanted to do, you've been doing it behind closed doors with a few people, less announcements. So you have been doing the work. So I feel that you just need to step away, instead of constant engaging with what's next and what's next. Right now, what you need to do is you need to just take a step back, relax yourself, enjoy the downtime. And I feel that as soon as you feel refreshed, as long as you're not constantly thinking about what's next, what should I be doing and how will I solve this or how will I get to that, all of those questions, once you stop thinking about it, the ideas will on its own come to you. So you might be too stressed out about thinking what's next, or things are not, as interesting as you thought they would be. But your message out here is to just take a step back. And once you do that, you will, get an idea. Those ideas will just flow through you effortlessly, smoothly, and then you can start working on them. Until then, don't stress yourself out over it. Okay, so Aquarius, those were your messages and hope they resonated with you. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.